Welcome to Matters Financial and Geopolitical from a Frontier. Thank you kindly for stopping by. Let's move on to Africa, Burundi, inside the secret killing house. Burundi's secret services are running secret torture and detention sites to silence dissent. Former government intelligence agents have told BBC Africa Eye. Using cutting-edge reconstruction techniques, BBC Africa Eye examines one house in particular, which was filmed in a video posted on social media in 2016. A red liquid which looked like blood was seen pouring from its gutter. We ask if Burundi's repression of opponents has now gone underground. It's well worth watching. It has been a dream. Ethiopians are adjusting to rapid democratic changes. NPR, as the sun comes up, the white stone on the Holy Trinity Cathedral turns golden. Ethiopians come before dawn to pray. When the war against Eritrea began, she says, I saw friends deported, their homes, their belongings taken away. One of the things we were struggling for was freedom from fear. So now we don't know what to do with it. And I wrote an article about Abiy after 90 days, and I said he's tapped into a Nelson Mandela 1994 mood. Our conflict tracker, Crisis Watch, highlights deteriorations in Africa for Burkina Faso, Burundi, CAR, Chad, Guinea, Niger, Nigeria, Mozambique, Somalia, Somaliland. Sums it up. South African all shares down 13.21% year to date. 43% of JSE listed companies are 50% or more below their 5-year high. That's from Johan Bierman. Cash-strapped Eskom reported in Business Day to be asking the government to take over 100 billion rand of its debt onto the government's balance sheet, which would add 2% to SA's debt to GDP ratio. Ultimately, the taxpayer picks up this tab somewhere, somehow. Dollar versus rand. Look, the rand, although it emerged from a recession, has not managed to really gain ground. We're backing up again. Egyptian pound 17.913, that's holding very steady. Nigerian all share down 18.54% year to date. Ghana's stocks are tipped to gain next year after disappointing 2018. They were up really big. Beginning of the year, the stock exchange is now down 0.8%. This is a photograph of the Ugandan CSI MV Templar party boat which capsized near Mutima Beach Resort on Saturday, leading to the loss of 32 lives. From footage. President Kenyatta made a stopover at Wangigi Trading Center, Kiambu County. Sometimes I pass nearby there, and then I read a book from the Muthaiga Library of somebody who had walked all the way up Mount Kenya. In fact, Sir Harold Mackinder. And in this book he described spending a night in Wangigi in the 1900s or so. It had a racy reputation then. Global slowdown infects Africa. Is Kenya's housing bubble about to burst? Asks Zero H. There is evidence that real estate markets are stalling in Asia, Australia, Europe, and the US, with new evidence suggesting the slowdown has infected Africa. Housing market in Kenya has been experiencing a year-long market-topping process with a rise in NPLs and oversupply fears. NPLs in the sector jumped by $59.4 million, or 15.8% in April-June. Compared to the previous quarters, real estate developers outpaced manufacturers 11.7%, traders 7.3% in the growth of default on loans. Have a listen, the real estate sector registered the highest increase in NPLs due to slow uptake of housing units, the CBK said. It was, of course, one of the fastest growing sectors in the last decade, with the returns outpacing the Nairobi Securities Exchange and government bonds. Kenyan property market has, like other property markets around the world, suddenly hit a brick wall. Kenya shilling lost at 102.67. So people were very fearful that the central bank has calmed those fears. Nairobi all shares down 14.45% year to date. Business Daily's front page is 23 NSE firms shed $14 billion in half-year net earnings. And I wrote about this in September when I said bears roam the NSE and the number of zombies grows. NSE 20 is down 24.8%. Consolidated Bank of Kenya shareholders have approved the creation of new 175 million preference shares, valued at 3.5 billion shillings, to be allocated to a yet-to-be-identified investor as it moves to shore up its thin capital base. Every listed share is also the second last link on which wrap-ups, and finally my photograph of the geisha girl who received me when I went to the Japanese embassy yesterday. Thank you very much for stopping by.